Nice. Ruka. Oh, someone's submission was accepted for a two-person at 38.
What's up?
There's someone that has a 2P submitted for 38.
An outbreak?
Yep.
Round 38.
Yep.
Survival.
Yep. Sons of bitches.
So, it's flawless.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no point in doing this then.
We can at least take second.
Third, you mean?
Second. There's only one.
That's right.
We can take second. We can be number 2 in the world.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off as it's Glade and Ty.
No, it's not. It's Homie G La and the one who plugs.
Okay, so gangsters, gotcha.
Yeah, the actual like gangsters that go to like 935 and shit like that. So at least they didn't run it up. They just probably did an easy run to make like people like go to a challenge.
Right.
Oh, I found a safety. Found a safety net. Little Kaiser guy.
Nice.
I got, oh, a second Kaiser? Well, thank you. I got some food here. Oh, you got food. I'm working my way to the fishing hole. Immediately. Oh, there's dogs. I'm gonna kill these dogs first. Oh, I'm gonna kill these zombies first.
Yeah, I'm going down to the...
Fish, 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 fish. Ouch. Bastards. Don't run away.
What's... Oh, shit.
No zombie spawn? Cool, 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 cool.
Right.
Pimpies was allegedly offered a shorter sentence to snitch on TK, but refused. Even though the judge threw the book at him,
Really?
TK remains
Gave me
positive that he's still getting the
a
appeal to
banana?
walk away as a free man
Fuck
with enough
you.
time to continue his rap career. In June 2021,
Alright, so
he
far I
went
have a
live on his 41st
Semtex.
birthday and claimed that his appeal case was looking promising. But just recently, the rapper took to Twitter and said, "I need a new appeal lawyer," making it seem like things wasn't going his way. At this point, it sounds unlikely that TK will be coming home anytime soon. If he simply pled guilty to his involvement when he was first arrested,
What is
he may
this?
have had a shot at a lighter sentence or an appeal. If he can't go on the run, then make a hit song about it, all while committing other crimes. Even if he does appeal the first murder charge, he was still found guilty of another murder, which could carry just as much time. Plus, it's not like he had enough time in the rap game to stack his bread to fight a case like this. So, unfortunately, TK probably won't be getting out of prison anytime soon. Glock 9. Glock 9 was another one of the hottest.
Let's see, some scrap,
before he got hit with fraud,
some scrap,
attempted murder charges,
a Semtex, and cryo freeze.
Glock 9 is a rapper from Orlando, Florida, known for records like 223.
I was listening to the guy when he was playing Outbreak. I thought he was playing regular Outbreak. I didn't know he was playing Survival. He literally did what I said. He kept restarting for the die machine. That's how I knew about it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was like, really? You reset? It's like, yeah, it's the fastest, easiest, high rounds way to do it. Or you can take your time going region to region looking for the die machine and hopefully you get it before you go past Doug or get it on Doug. I'm like, oh, okay.
The new state attorney of Florida's 9th Judicial
Hey,
Circuit,
you know.
Monique Worrell, was sworn in on January 8th of that year and made it her first order of business to crack down on the rapper, hitting him with 5 attempted murder charges. The rapper eventually bonded out, only to get picked up again a few months later on RICO charges. The Florida Police Department launched a major investigation into the war between Glock 9's AFNF crew and a rival gang, 438, which is associated with the rapper Hot Boy. The investigation led to the arrest of 34 men and women in both gangs. According to authorities, the bloody war between AFNF and 438 was responsible for over 30 shootings and at least 4 homicides, including the murder of Tobiah King and 14-year-old niece of Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill. During the investigation, Glock 9 was named as one of the main leaders of the AFNF gang. To make matters worse, Glock 9 also pled guilty to identity theft and weapons charges. According to court records, the rapper used someone else's name, social security number, and address to open a bank account and receive $10,000 in PPP loans from the federal government. He also sent an Instagram message to his homies showing the application, which was intercepted by police. He was also caught in possession of a semi-automatic rifle that wasn't registered to him and was stolen during a burglary in 2019. It was found in the garage of the rapper's grandparents' home and had his fingerprints and DNA on the rifle magazine and grip area. He was also caught with a weapon during a raid of his home last year. Police discovered a duffel bag with loaded guns and ammo inside. They also discovered 13 auto sears used to convert semi-automatic pistols into fully automatic. Glock 9 has a felony record, and he's not allowed to possess any of these weapons. The rapper pled guilty to the charges and was sentenced to 87 months in prison or 7 years and 3 months. Plus, he's still facing the 5 attempted murders and racketeering charges. His trial is set for March 7th, so stay tuned for updates. K-So. K-So is a rapper from Jacksonville, Florida, known for his affiliation with Young and Ace. But the rapper's also been accused of some pretty wild shootings, including 2 separate murders. K-So was arrested in September 2020 for the murder of a man named Charles McCormick, aka Lil Buck. Lil Buck is a rapper affiliated with Julio's KTA gang, who dropped a diss song about K-So's brother, Boss Boom. Boss Boom was also a rapper, but he was killed after a performance about a year before Lil Buck was murdered. Police didn't just arrest K-So, but they also arrested his father, Abdul Robinson, and charged him with accessory after the fact, which is a felony offense. While he was locked up, police also connected K-So to the murder of 16-year-old Adrian Garner, aka Bibby. Bibby was shot to death in the parking lot of the Hilltop Village Apartments back in February 2019, just a month after Boss Goon was killed.
Ooh,
K-So was
laggy.
Bibby in songs and included this image on the album cover for a tape called Bibby Out, which also featured pictures of several dead KTA
What's up?
affiliates. K-So's now
I had a little bit of lag.
fighting the case, and it seems like he's really been going through it. Video surveillance footage inside the jail that was released by a local news outlet shows him getting mistreated by the prison staff in October 2021. The footage shows him being handcuffed by corrections officers while he's in his cell. K-So then exits the cell before being picked up and slammed to the ground by the CO. According to a police report, K-So threatened to kill the officer, who saw it necessary to use force to overcome the resistance displayed by the rapper. But according to K-So's mom, he's been complaining to multiple family members about the officer that slammed him to the ground. She says K-So claims the CO was harassing him, telling him he was going to rearrange his face and that his sister was dead. His grandmother also filed a complaint against the officer, claiming that the CO said, "Your dead sister," to K-So. K-So's sister was recently shot in the face, but luckily survived. Karina Robinson was shot by a bail bondsman at Avenue Mall right around the time the officer was arresting Queso on camera. Around 8 p.m. on October 5th, 2021, officers were dispatched to the mall after receiving reports of the shooting. When they arrived, the victims were already gone. The witnesses said they saw two men approach two women in the parking lot. When the women saw the man, they dropped their bags and ran to a nearby car. But as they was fleeing, the witnesses heard a pop, but they didn't see what happened. Officers was then informed that a woman had shown up to nearby Memorial Hospital with a facial injury after being shot. The woman was 31-year-old Karina Robinson, Queso's sister. She had her jawbone nearly blown off and had to get a tracheostomy to help her breathe. The man who shot her was a bail bondsman who had been pursuing her for a while over outstanding warrants and skipping bond with his company. Karina had outstanding warrants for her arrest regarding crimes that included failing to appear in court, tampering with a monitoring device, and felony theft charges. After shooting her, the bail bondsman fled the scene but later returned. No charges have been filed against him at this time.
Motherfucker.
Or the company he works for.
What's wrong?
So the CEO who
I went to go hit the box and it gave me a goddamn sniper rifle.
use it to get under his skin. After being treated at the hospital,
Damn, that's shitty.
County jail,
Yeah.
facility where her brother and father are being
Like it showed me the ray gun and the die machine, and then it was like, nah, you want a sniper rifle, right?
No, here you go. Here's a sniper, bro. You got this. You're a pro.
Right, I mean,
You
it's
don't need no wonder weapon.
the 50 cal, so it's like cool, but fuck, are you serious?
Description of the shooter in the Lil Buck case, but police have an informant who's with Queso on the day of the murder who claims he was the shooter. So it's gonna be a tough case to beat. The rapper's currently being held on a $1 million bond for the Lil Buck hit and a $3 million bond for the murder of Bibby. More info on both cases will likely come out as they go to trial, so tap in for updates.
These lovely people get to watch me attempt to use a grappling hook. Not working out. Not fucking working.
Wow, that was such lag that I shot and it was arcing over to the like past the zombie.
Yeah.
But after I passed the zombie's head, I went to turn back to fire at it, then it popped off and said I hit it in the head. Yeah, dude, it was pretty cool. Like, great to know.
God damn.
Rondo is actually from the 600 set of the BD's All Black Disciples. The Chicago street gang famous for beefing with the GD's or Gangster Disciples and their respective sets, including the Flyboy gang or FBG, who you might recognize from that acronym, FBG Duck. But this story ain't about Duck, it's about Rondo, and what made Rondo special wasn't the work he was putting in on the street, but the work he was putting in the booth, rising to musical prominence at such a young age. Born in 97, Rondo was only 16.
Beating your dog.
Huh? Fuck you. I'm not beating my dog.
No, it's enjoying it, of course, because his butt pats.
No, it's thigh.
Oh, they like the thigh?
I think he just likes the
Oh,
attention.
you found it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Get the box. Did you come from that way or no?
Maybe?
The
It's kind of the other side.
The pack punch area?
I honestly don't know these too well. Yeah, I kind of did a loop around.
Oh, okay, so there shouldn't be any zombies here. Dang it.
So all of this shows that Rondo, despite his criminal background, is part of the world where there are few ways out.
Apologies, sir. I'll be sure and let you
Oh no,
die from zombies.
After all, this is the same era as Chief Keef's
I was gonna go defend you,
with blowing up
but there was no zombies.
and taking
No, no
giving him the
zombies.
financial stability and industry connections to change his life for the better.
No,
Everything seemingly going in the right direction.
no.
Dropped his long-awaited
But there's zombies here.
real Nigel for
Oh yeah, I've
on the 19th
not been around here.
2014. And at this point, it looked like he had a bright future ahead of him. However, only 2 days after this mixtape's release, Rondo's future would suddenly be not so bright, as he would find out that maybe after all, he was a little too real.
Thank you, God.
2014,
You want it?
Rondo and his buddy C-Day were at a party at the Wentworth Gardens housing project.
I took the hand cannon.
A block essentially controlled by Rondo's ops. Rondo
Fuck, man, I'll take the. Okay.
as well as fellow Chirac drillers.
No, dude, I want the hand cannon.
You got a challenge for one of the
No, the hand cannon's just a beast. Hand cannon
slapping.
Panzers.
And after that, the girls left the party.
Nice.
The boys arranging for them
Yeah.
all to meet up at a nearby Wendy's.
If you get the right headshot on him, you pop his helmet off. If you get another headshot on him, it kills him.
Head back into that GD territory that they had just left to try and
Fed eyes.
being shot at. So at the Wendy's, Rondo
I'm gonna check over here for a golden chest.
leading a convoy followed by 2 other cars filled with people that they'd been hanging out with that night, including K600. When they reached 30
Yeah, I had
Oh, I
a.
found a dragon. I found the dragon.
area, they passed the state
Alright, let me kill these.
parked up in the area where that earlier
I had a pretty adorbs moment with him this morning. After I let him outside, I went to go lay back down just to enjoy it, be under the blanket and shit. I was like, hey, Hamish, come lay down over here, and he just like plopped right next to me. Put the blanket over him and just passed right the fuck out.
Oh, what a doggo.
Yeah, it helps him being like 80 pounds too, because he's a big dude.
What a doggo.
What, okay, I see it.
calling for their freedom. However, Keith would be duly disappointed because even at this early stage in the case, there was some mounting evidence of Keith's possessions, mainly due to this apparently being a very sloppy job by Rondo and C-Day. C-Day was convicted by his own car. The entire attack was captured on a surveillance camera. The video was even played in the trial which caused the victim's family to burst into tears.
I'm more dangerous at being hurt.
C-Day and Rondo even tried to call for a police trial opening, but were quickly shut down by the police. But things weren't much better for Rondo, who was apparently easily identified by witnesses. Things were very outdated awareness. But here's the real doozy. C-Day robbed his mobile phone at the scene of the crime. Yes, his actual mobile phone at the scene where the crime happened. And he didn't realise that he had already fled the scene of what he had done. I mean, imagine how that must be. You're on the way home from a successful dinner, you ask one of your fellow kickers, hey, can somebody call my phone? But hey, if that wasn't bad enough, C-Day even convinced one of the girls that he was with that night to go find his crime. Tell the cops that she had dropped her phone in the area earlier that day to try and get them to give it to her. Well, as you might expect, this was a disaster. Combine that with the fact that 2 of the girls that were in the convoy that night filed witness statements implicating Rondo and C-Day, with them even taking the stand in court to say what happened. We're talking the same girl who C-Day tried to convince to go back to recover the lost mobile phone.
Tombstone, you want it?
Told investigators that she witnessed C-Day and Rondo speaking to the victim and then named her. Those stopping short of fully snitching, saying at trial that she never actually seen a gun. Now, I know there's been a lot of internet hate on this girl for snitching, but I would say chances are she was probably facing hefty accessory charges for going back to the crime scene and trying to get that phone. So hardly a
Wait,
surprise
let's
for the
circle
one.
around the outside
And
over
apparently
here.
she had been ducking
Just in case
appearance
the free
for
perk is
months,
over this
as
way.
apparently investigators had made 15 unsuccessful attempts to locate and serve her. In response to that, in the closing arguments, Rondo's lawyer tried to discredit the state's
I'll always
witnesses,
take a free
saying
perk.
they were just telling complete nonsense about who the shooters were to avoid being
Just for
charged
the
themselves.
RNG
Now, ironically,
transfer.
before things had actually gone to
Even
trial,
though
Oh, I got
they
it.
had initially
Yeah.
made a motion to be tried
Not needed. flawless technique. Oh, jeez, lagging hard there, bud.
and was eventually denied.
Me or you?
Rondo would later come to
Me.
regret and attempt to
Oh.
remedy with a court appeal.
Oof.
This led C-Day and Rondo to face a joint murder trial with all of that evidence against both of them, and unsurprisingly, the jury duly found Rondo and C-Day guilty of murder in the first degree. And in addition to that, there was
Dude, I gotta text my mom at some point tonight, be like, bring cookies. She made chocolate chips with my nephews. They're so fucking good!
Not necessarily proven that he was a shooter, but proven that he did have a firearm. But in the end, this extra firearm conviction would only make a difference of 1 year.
Yeah, I see the Goldie.
To a 39-year sentence for Rondo and 38 years for C-Day. And I tell you what, I doubt having 1 year less was much comfort to him.
File your taxes free.
Ow.
Your way. Do it yourself.
Burning me.
Get unlimited advice from tax experts.
For a long time.
Or have an expert do it all for you. 100% free. Only
You never notice
that thing
in...
before I could start.
Must file by February.
Nice. You never notice how long that thing lasts until, like, your health doesn't come back automatically.
Do you know if your phone has a compass? Let's see if I can make a sundial for my sign. 4:30. Switch to progressive and you can save hundreds. You know, like the sign says.
One year less was much comfort.
Hi, my name is Eugene Horton, a paralegal investigator for the past 30 years.
What is that?
I inquired
55?
to expose
Totally
the
over it. Wait, no. I want the bullfrog.
Clint Massey
Even
is a person,
though
a
it's
person
a
who I'm
terrible
definitely
sight.
defending
I was
right
thinking
now,
about the
I got
sight, but then I was
evidence
like,
to
nah,
support
the bullfrog's been
Since
killing
this
it.
devastating verdict was delivered, a lot has been said by both sides. Both Rondo and C-Day have tried to appeal the judgment.
Oh, Christ, alright.
C-Day is claiming that
No, you don't want it?
sufficient enough
No, I mean, like, I fucking...
mainly on the basis that he feels that the
I mean, I'll drop it back down for you.
first-degree murder was never proven. Meanwhile, overall,
Trying to figure out which one to...
his legal counsel
I'd
saying
keep
that
the
they were
gallo.
ineffective for not pursuing
Yeah,
the
I was thinking about it too.
C-Day was the sole
I'm gonna take the
Now,
RPG
Rondo
though.
has since been called a snitch for even suggesting that C-Day might have been the sole shooter in court
It's
documents.
just
Hey, I
not
guess
good
that's why
against
6ix9ine always
special
looked up to Rondo, right?
What you made me start rapping with Rondo number 9?
Nah.
Really though, a lot of people have said that by claiming this defense, Rondo is essentially snitching on his co-defendant C-Day. However, in a way, this statement is kind of just supporting the existing ballistics evidence, already revealed in a case that suggested all bullets had been fired from a single gun. And in his appeal, Rondo is vigorously admonishing his own legal team for not more vigorously pursuing the possible defense that C-Day was that sole shooter. I mean, he's not directly snitching saying that C-Day did it, but he is kind of snitching via his legal team saying that, hey, why didn't they look into the other guy? I mean, is Rondo wrong for trying to use this existing shred of information to get himself out of a bad or unjust situation? Is this some kind of second-hand snitching? What do I know? I'm not the snitch police. But to be fair to Rondo, there's a paragraph in his appeal that lays out all of the evidence that the court had against C-Day, which were all things apparently C-Day himself had either slipped up on or spilled the beans on himself. For example, witnesses recognized C-Day's voice from that original phone call with the girls, informing the boys about the shooting that had taken place at that house party. Witnesses said that C-Day himself was the one who
Need the
asked
perk
the victim
machine.
from over here, and then apparently bragged it was a man down, referring
It's over
to the
by
victim.
me.
C-Day, of course, left his own fingerprints on the victim's car.
Yeah, by the
C-Day left his own mobile phone at the crime
house
scene,
or whatever.
tried to get someone to go back and get it. But none of this even
The
mattered.
building.
The court weren't buying it either way. C-Day's appeals were slapped down.
Quick revive does nothing, by the way.
Yeah.
Couldn't be proven exactly who was the shooter.
Yeah.
Of course, one
Yeah.
did describe Rondo as the shooter, which essentially invalidates either defendant's attempts to point the finger.
Did you already spend the money on it?
Overwhelming amounts
Nope.
of evidence put both of
Okay,
them
fine.
and only them at the scene of the killing, a fact which is just undeniable. Then, of course, combine that with the CCTV surveillance video that shows both men committing the attack.
Stamina up and elemental power, baby.
Essentially, Rondo's defense that his legal team were at fault.
Jug, speed, stamina.
Slapped down by the court on this basis, who said attempting this
Yeah,
would
jug,
undermine his own
speed,
legal strategy.
stamina,
Regardless,
elemental,
the
and
industry
rest in
all of the
peace.
witnesses still put Rondo at the scene of the murder.
I'm
At the end of the
stacking
day,
perks
having a lawyer who
first
diffuses
because
an
I
Right.
don't have weapons that I want to
doesn't
keep.
necessarily mean that lawyer or that strategy was bad. And since so much of this one proven theory is still reliant on the witness statement that C-Day was the shooter, by conceding to that
Really?
witness's credibility, Rondo is also conceding to their statement that he was there.
Gonna be
right
lazy.
next to the shooter when the incident took place. Basically,
You ready?
but that's not all the snitching allegations that came up at
Oh,
You ready?
I'm on my way, I'm on my way, I'm on my way, I'm a
You
far
ready?
away. Far away, I'm a far away.
You're gonna have to go far away anyways to get it. It's not gonna be right at the conversion module. Hold on a second.
Yeah, go.
Rondo also reposted on Twitter that Tay Snitch, along with a link
Which is just like here. I have to be over
Where the
near
fuck is
you.
it?
It's over by you.
Oh God!
Yeah.
It's the Rockets.
Yep. I made it. I'm over here.
Mills got on the stand and testified against Rondo.
I'm saying specifically that a fake statement had been passed around in order to try and put dirt on his name.
It was a fake statement floating around, and it said in the statement, I, Demonte D. Carpenter, have seen Rondo and C.A. shoot the person 5 times. You know, and the statement was so fake that if you read the statement, for one, the court document's not going to say Rondo and
Bring it
C.A.
on.
It's going to say Courtney and Clint.
Bring it on, bring it on.
Fill the module's tank to proceed with conversion. Protect the module, team. Don't let them destroy it.
That seems to suggest that it is authentic, though that has been doubted, that Tay was tracked down by the cops and initially denied he was being there.
Essence capacity at 50%.
He was pinned there by 3 witnesses. He apparently told the cops that he was in the convoy that night. Supposedly,
Essence capacity at 75%.
let's make this clear. He knows if that's real. They take work as
Essence
himself.
capacity at maximum.
Himself says it's not real. He's made it very
Beginning conversion process. Conversion.
I was never in a courtroom with Rondo or C.A. ever. I never seen a courtroom with them.
Anyway, none of this even matters because Rondo's motion for appeal was duly denied. The court said his legal counsel did exactly what they were supposed to do. Apparently the testimony against him was not prejudiced, and it was overwhelmingly clear from the evidence that he was definitely present at the crime scene. And then finally, the last thread he was clinging on to, the court decided that the outburst by the victim's family when they were shown the video of the crime was not worthy of a mistrial. Look, I'll be honest with you, and I know a lot of internet tough guys or Chicago gangsters are not going to like what I'm about to say, but this is probably the right decision. And I know that Rondo is still running around online trying to get Kim K to free him. I really doubt that's going to work. And honestly, to the people that are still screaming free Rondo number 9, even in the face of the mountains of evidence against him, you are frankly doing a genuine disservice to all of the incarcerated young men who have genuinely been imprisoned unfairly and do deserve help. He deserved a fair trial, which he got, and at no point during his trial or his sentencing has Rondo seemed to have shown any remorse for his involvement in the tragic slaying of a completely innocent man. Sure, Rondo was about that life, which we knew from his music, and hell, his music career was even.
I got the green thumper. I got a green thumper.
He released his latest mixtape, and he finally had a chance that so many people
Nice.
background would have
Why did I drop that? 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 Why did I drop that?
Straight off of music.
No.
But only 2 days after releasing this project, in cold blood, he took the life of a completely innocent young man who was working hard at an honest job driving a cab. And Rondo really did this for no good reason. Just because him and his boys wanted some get back because someone had let off some shots at a completely unrelated
Laying
party
claim
that
to this
same
one.
night.
I'm on way to victory.
I'm gonna take the RPG.
Chief Keef was screaming free Rondo on Twitter. Javon Boyd's aunt was being interviewed about her nephew on the news.
Faux show.
3 of his siblings had tragically lost their lives in a 1994 fire at Robert Taylor homes. Boyd had overcome this adversity, grown up, and was trying to make an honest living working 2 jobs. Spending his days working for the Green Corps chopping trees, and at night he was driving cabs, putting in all of that work so he could earn money to support his fiancée and his 11-year-old daughter. Now that fiancée is missing a husband, and that daughter is growing up without a father. Court papers made it very clear that Boyd had nothing to do with the gang altercation that had happened earlier that night. He was literally just going about his business, doing an honest night's work, and just found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. So whether or not you agree that Rondo or C-Day deserved the sentence, one thing is for sure, Javon Boyd definitely did not deserve the death sentence that he was handed that night by Rondo and C-Day.
Oh, no. We gotta see if there's a free perk. Over here.
Gargaru's algorithm analyzes
customizes thousands of details to give every car a deal rating from great
There
to
is
overpriced.
not. Go ahead,
The
skip
best
the
part?
part.
Just 30% of cars earn our highest ratings. So when you see a great deal, you know it's a great deal. Car Gurus.
Playing hide and seek with my dog.
I can't even. Hell, have y'all seen Bando?
Mimic.
So badly that they would do it in the middle of a busy street in broad daylight in front of dozens of civilians armed with smartphones. One of the men who allegedly did it would want to brag so openly about such an evil act of violence and how their desperate need for clout on social media would ultimately play a big part of their downfall, with the feds swooping in, likely bringing a racketeering case with so much comprehensive evidence that it's hard to believe that anybody involved in this case can see the outside of a prison cell for the rest of their lives. This is the story of FBG Duck, aka Big Clapped. But before we get into the details, a quick word from today's sponsor.
Kamikoto, they are real though, Japanese steel, I gotta let you know. Kamikoto makes great Japanese steel kitchen knives, using traditional techniques from Japan that will give you the best slice. And each knife is individually inspected, and it comes with a full lifetime guarantee so the customers are respected. Wait, check this, and Kamikoto only use steel from mills in Japan. It means their product's the highest quality, you can feel it in your hand. I'm talking a 19-step process, takes several years to complete. That's why every single Kamikoto knife's quality can't be over a century of experience. Their expert bladesmiths are the best.
I'm suffering over here, by the way. I have the green bullfrog. I have a blue thumper, but I have a green bullfrog because I don't have PH Flopper cake. I didn't know if I'd get a thumper.
Hellbent on getting revenge.
I waited until after the
Much closer to an armed conflict in
I got the RPG back to get the thumper.
Yeah, I just don't have the money.
Now, if you've already seen the previous video that I did on the war between O'Block and Tukaville, then feel free to skip this part of the video. That video covered the ongoing back and forth between O'Block and the street crews coming out of 63rd between the years of 2010 and 2014. Tukaville is another name of the SDL that he sets on 63rd with the name Tukaville.
This video is sponsored by Raycon.
Only bad thing with the RPG in the segment is the load time.
CJ. It's been a couple of months since we checked in with everybody's favourite misshapen, sideburn rocking, false flag claiming, non-shirt wearing, $500,000 baby oil budget blood. And if you were one of the people saying that he was going to be a one-hit wonder, well, you were mistaken. Because the way things are going at the moment, CJ is about to have numerous hits. But instead of billboards, these ones will be on his forehead. He already risked it all by dropping a song called Whoop-Dee, which if you didn't know from my previous video about it, is a traditional greeting of a certain set of
Weaver, my team has prepped a rover for dimensional transfer. Strike team, get to the rover and proceed with escort.
A hot song, but the content that he used is not his content. So his foundation is based off a lie. He's not Whoop-Dee. He don't know nothing about Whoop-Dee. He just seen a fly splash and he jacked it. Now you jacking something that they got dudes in jail for. There's allegations behind that made it such a splash for you to want to jack it. They gave me 30 years for a lifestyle full of allegations of a lifestyle that you talking about that you never lived.
Well, it turned out that CJ really was risking his life by putting Whoop-Dee in his lyrics. But since then, rather than humbling himself, taking the millions of dollars that he'd made and just moving safe from there on out, instead CJ has decided to double down on this misguided strategy, recently dropping his new song, Hit Up. And let me tell you, the irresponsibility on display in the Hit Up music video is staggering on so many fronts. First off, he has a child no older than 8 years old holding up a red blood bandana. I mean, real talk, screw CJ for that. He's not even really Whoop-Dee, yet he is out here literally putting red blood rags in the hands of children and putting that child's fake face front and centre in a music video that millions of people are going to see. I blurred his face in this screenshot, CJ did not. But that's minor. Things are much worse when you get to the lyrics of Hit Up. Now, the song's hook is basically, I'll get you hit up, and just in case you're not a qualified grillologist, he is talking about putting a hit on somebody. You know, assassination, illegal murders. Now, we know CJ's a fake gangster, yet here he is on a song that's going to be heard and seen by millions of people, quite literally saying he is going to have somebody killed. But I know what you're thinking. Floor CJ. Rappers say that they're gonna fuck your big
Oh, come here.
in every single song. Usually they're just
Oh, where you at? Where you at? Where you at?
I'm at Wonder Fist. Bounce it.
I'm coming.
Symphony of self-snitching. Well, the person who CJ is suggesting he is going to have hit up in this song just so happens to be one of my favourite rappers. 22G's, a fellow Brooklyn driller, in fact the real pioneer of the Brooklyn drill genre in the city of New York. In fact, if you watch my hour-and-a-half documentary on
Is it blue or is it green?
Green.
Then you'll know
okay.
famous gangster disciples. Now, the gangster disciples are a violent street gang that originally started in Chicago, but over the
fuck is
decades
it? Oh.
moved around America and eventually found themselves setting up
Noise.
You'll know that they're not to be played with. And that especially goes for 22G.
And forgot the loose
If
change.
there is any doubt that this guy is a serious G in the streets, don't forget that he caught an insane murder charge in Miami, a charge which he beat.
I know, I got it.
Now, the New York GDs, particularly 22G's crew, tend to go by the name Blicky Gang, or the Blickies. And it's important to know that when you're looking at CJ's lyrics in the song, because in that song, he says, pass me the 6G, referring to a pistol, but thankfully you don't need a PhD in drillology to know what he's talking about, because in the music video 4 Hit Up, when he says that line, he's quite literally being passed a handgun on camera, wrapped in a red bandana, I assume in order to keep his fingerprints off the gun. You see, CJ, if you're concerned about leaving your fingerprints on a potential murder weapon, perhaps it wouldn't be a good idea to record yourself asking for the weapon, being passed it on camera, and then uploading that video for 1.5 million people to see. But anyway, tell me more about how CJ is a real gangster. So after being passed the murder weapon on camera, CJ goes on to rap, I'll catch a blicky, man down in my city. This is clearly a reference to the blicky gang GDs that 22G's is a part of, and just to drive home his intention to assassinate the as he raps this lyric, CJ throws up the GDK gang sign, an upside-down pitchfork or dropping race, if you will, symbolising that CJ is GDK or a gangster disciple. Now, surely the detectives in the NYPD self-snitching division are salivating at the mouth at these lyrics. But CJ goes on to drop more details, saying, if you're talking hot, 30 rounds in the Glock, straight to the top, I'm made in GD Box. Now, it doesn't take a genius.com to work out that CJ is talking about 22G's all over this song. But just in case you were in any doubt, he doubles down on the next line, saying, aim for his mata, then he dancing bachata. Now, 22G's is of course famous for dropping lyrics about opening people's matas, so make no mistake, CJ is not only dissing 22G specifically, but he appears to be publicly declaring his intention to murder a very well-known and feared gangster disciple. That's fucking stupid. And I'm here to tell you that this kind of behavior is putting his life at risk. But
I'll take it. Unless you already took it.
I took it because I only have a green.
At this rate, Officer Tenpenny is about to put CJ in protective custody. 22G's this, lol, whiling out playing with that man. Rest in peace in advance. You're gonna get yourself packed. Facts. 100 emoji. This is about to be on his head after that low-key diss. It wasn't low-key, that was a clear diss. Facts. He's throwing it down. He don't know that dropping rates brings a whole different energy. This dude better be careful, especially if he knows he's not really about it. 22G killed the dude. CJ didn't. Too much gang shit, my guy. Never ends well.
I gotta go check this out.
Slow down since Woofy. And now you will reap what you sow. I see CJ crew getting dropped like flies in New York. Laughing face, laughing face, laughing face, laughing face. CJ Pack gonna smoke real nice. He just sealed his fate. R.I.P. CJ. He ain't dead yet, but wait till Tutu sees this. Man's gonna have to drop a blicky before they drop him first. No cap. How you dropping rates? Only a matter of time until shit catches up. Dropping the rates and shit? LMFAO. He gonna get his mata pop. Wow. Beware, bro. His thumbs down, folks. He about to get hit up. That's how you know he a fake grim. How you drop rates but you a hound? You such a fake, you're gonna get caught. Watch. Praying hands. 22G's will smoke this dude. Mark my words. We all know he's not a gangster, so he should not say he will drop a blicky, because blickies are real gangsters. Can't no Wu claim that GDK shit in Chicago. Folks them gonna slide with no question. Bloods need to worry about trips, not us folks. Too many pump-baking Woos. CJ really wanna die playing with these GDs, but face, don't think he can handle what's coming next. This dude got famous for jacking a flag and a tune. LMAO, he'll be gone in a month. Oh shit, here we go again.
So when you bundle your home and auto, you can say,
Want the home and auto bundle Extrava Festa Save It on t-shirts.
I'll take one.
Yeah.
Alright. You can just hand it to me.
Solid kill, strike team.
Oh, it gave me PH Flopper. Let's go.
Tombstone.
Let's go.
It's the one I didn't want.
I know.
Let's do that.
Gotta go back.
What's up?
Going to pack punch.
This, of course, being the result of the fact that the sample that ended up in Whoopty had already been sampled by King Von and Mimo 600 on the track Exposing Me, a song which, for the record, was conveniently removed from YouTube after CJ blew up and after King Von died. You know, if King Von was alive, we'd all be smoking that CJ pack right now. Anyway, that's not a huge deal. Basically, at that point, this melody had already been passed around the rap game more than Selena Powell. But the beat, lyrics, flow, and stolen blood valor wasn't the end of it. Because much like me when I'm at Nando's, CJ is a serial source thief. Because his
I beat the spawns of the zombies.
Fellow Brooklyn driller Coach the Ghost's signature ad-lib, Shine. Only when CJ did it, he said,
Found dragon.
For real, CJ seems to think that he can just steal any idea,
right behind you.
source from any Brooklyn rapper and just get away with it. What makes no sense to me is that the people that CJ is stealing from are some of the most dangerous and feared people in the rap game. I mean, if you're not from New York and you steal a flow from a Brooklyn driller, at least you're far enough away not to worry about getting drilled. And frankly, that's the only reason that I can get away with it.
Yeah.
I was looking that way when you said behind me, so I thought the
Yeah, I was flying by and I saw you down there, and then I flew over the, or glided over the top, and I'm like, oh, it's right behind him.
One tense moment that many people missed, when CJ linked up with Fat Joe for an interview, he immediately assumed that CJ was straight up Brooklyn because of all the sauce he was jacking. With a flustered CJ quickly setting the record straight, reminding people that no, he's not involved in Staten Island.
I'm confused, like, Whoop-dee? What does Whoop-dee mean, man? What?
It's a roll call, man. It's a worldwide thing, man. So I got kids saying it, you know what I'm saying? I got older folks saying it, so it's a worldwide thing now. I think it's a worldwide thing.
What part of Brooklyn you from?
I'm from Staten Island, born and raised.
Oh, you from Staten Island? I didn't know that.
Now, plenty of people were all over this detail in the comments to the Hip Hop music video, with one person saying that CJ got G-checked by Fat Joe and didn't even realise. Along with that, there's plenty of people in the comments of Hit Up pointing out correctly that CJ just quite literally jacked the entire Brooklyn drill wave started. Someone else pointed out that it's not very GDK of you to be dropping rates while somebody behind you is doing the blicky twirl, which if you didn't know is a dance move invented by the blicky gang. So with all of that source stealing in mind, CJ has really got some gall to diss and say that he is going to have Hit Up, the guy that quite literally made it possible for him to even be here. All of this didn't go unnoticed by 22Gs, and after Whoopty blew up, 22 came out with his response song, a Whoopty remix called Goofy. In fact, on the song, 22 already threatened to run up on CJ and blow out
Magnum.
stealing that lyric, as well as quite literally saying that CJ stole his drip and that they're going to get it back in blood and shoot him up.
Gave us food.
This remix was quite literally Disney's Goofy
I thought we were gonna die.
Yeah. Should I get the Magnum? No, fuck it, I'll try it out.
What?
I'm trying out the Magnum.
I mean, it's really strong for a handgun, but it's got ridiculous recoil, because it's a 45.
Yeah, I see it now, Jesus.
I personally think that it's very telling that we haven't seen any kind of response from 22Gs since CJ threatened to have him whacked on the song Hit Up, because real Gs move in silence like lasagna, and 22Gs is a real gangster. Let me remind you again, he is literally caught and beat actual murder charges. Now, don't get me wrong, people, I'm not saying 22Gs is going to commit any crimes, I'm certainly not calling for it, but hell, 22 said himself on his Goofy song that he would quite happily send one of his little hitters to pop CJ. Now, if I was CJ, and right now I am, I would be very, very scared, because the response to some of that very serious talk on Hit Up might not be a diss song, and CJ isn't just putting his own life at risk, he is risking the lives of those around him. Because when there's a price on your head and the ops can't find you, they start going for the people close to you. CJ is putting his friends and his family at risk, and that is not cool. Hell, let's not forget he's even putting red blood rags in the hands of children and putting them bait-facing in music videos. Surrounded by grown men proclaiming that they are gangster disciple killers. Bear in mind, gangster disciples are in far more cities than just New York. So, what's going to happen when the pandemic's over and CJ decides to go play a show in Chicago? What's going to happen with all the GDs there when they find out that he's GDK? Furthermore, there's one more point I'd like to make as to why CJ is a real GD. Because most of these guys that came up through Brooklyn Drill, Pop Smoke, Fabio Foreign, Chef G, they actually came from the real gutter of New York. They came up surrounded by murder, gangs, guns, and real street situations. They started making music to get away from that shit. In fact, I found it incredibly inspiring when I recently saw that Hutu publicly expressed an interest in watching his beef with Chef G. That's the kind of growth and development I'd like to see, because numerous people have died on both sides in the deadly gang war between New York's Crips and GDs, and the mature thing to do when you're out of the streets and a millionaire of music is to let the past be the past, move forward as an artist, not a gangster.
No.
Not CJ though. No, he's faking his gangster right to the top, stealing clout from the real dudes who actually got out the mud to get away from where they came from. And what is CJ doing with the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that a real gangster would literally kill for? He's publicly declaring that he will have a rival rapper hit up on a song for fun. Kind of reminds me of someone, doesn't it? Thanks for watching, and peace out. Oh, and I tried to dye this red, came out pink. It was a hell. Peace. Spinning with Blicky and Black Flag. Gun in my Neary, finishing the clap that. I had the gun in my backpack. Blicky the Blicky run down with a stash. I pay hitters through cash app. Shooters like Mitchell, holes in snapbacks. Stuff bodies in trash bags. I bet hollow tip turn hashtags. Whatever.
If you're inspired to advance your career, we invite you to learn online at Purdue University Global.
As a humble
I need to find an armor stand.
being addicted to blue cheese was Lord Bluntington of the Stilton
It's
Squad.
up here.
However, last year, a dairy-devouring driller by the name of CJ, as a humble Brit, the last rapper that I remember being addicted to blue cheese was Lord Bluntington of the Stilton Squad. However, last year, a dairy-devouring driller by the name of CJ burst onto the scene, entertaining millions with his just drill fan like me. You probably heard the track Wooty and had a whole bunch of questions. Where did this guy come from? Is that Anwell AA's little brother? And who, for the love of God, is responsible for those sideburns?
Mary, get rid of those sideburns. What sideburns? You heard me, hippie.
But really though, one of the biggest questions surrounding this mysterious New York driller is exactly what gang is he drilling for? And after Googling this and being informed his gang is apparently the Grove Street Families, I only have more questions. However, after looking a little deeper into things, it soon begun to appear that our old pal CJ from Wooty might be as real of a gangster as CJ from San Andreas. In fact, ever since he blew up, a lot of people have been pointing to CJ the rapper, saying that he's a fake gangster and industry gay for being a fake. Then it's no surprise that people are looking at this Hispanic heartthrob as the next Takeshi 6ix9ine.
We found the golden chest. I'll be there in a minute. I have a megaton.
Yeah, I'm just twitching. Oh, motherfucker, it wasn't enough.
Or if things on his side are really just a movie, in this case, a daytime TV remake of the Treyway story. People, today is the day we find out the truth about CJ's gang affiliations.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
CJ was around 19 when he began to test the waters and record music. In fact, some of his earliest efforts are even still alive on his SoundCloud profile today. Tracks like On Me, Slept On, Letter to the Law, and Shooters, all pretty basic, generic New York street rap with references to busting guns, hustling for money, or just being an underrated rapper in these streets. I'd give it A for effort, but an F for originality. But thankfully, CJ was getting support for his music from the very start, because it would turn out that his uncle is a guy named James Cruz, a rap game industry player who had an illustrious career, starting around working in marketing for Reebok in the 96 and 97 Allen Iverson campaigns. Cruz eventually landed top jobs of Bad Boy Records and Violator, where he worked closely alongside Chris Lighty, who played an instrumental role in the rise of 50 Cent. Though for the record, these days, Lofty ain't really messing with Cruz like that. And eventually, he found himself working so closely under Diddy, 50 Cent would even speculate there was something kinky going on, as Cruz ended up heading up the business end of P. Diddy's empire, doing a 9-year stint there before leaving to start up his own Latin-focused marketing company. And hey, what better Latin product is there to market than your own nephew? So it would turn out that Big Unc's James Cruz was the perfect Kickstarter for a young Latin rapper looking to make his way in the game. So right from the start, CJ was paired up with a young, poppin' producer by the name of Busy Banco, the same producer who, funnily enough, went on to produce the track Mood Swings for Pop Smoke. Banco ironically ended up producing the early track of CJ called Pop, and you'll never guess who an unknown CJ managed to get to be his very first feature in the rap game. Oh, only a very little Latin pop rock by the name of 6ix9ine. Yes, as a complete unknown, CJ managed to land one of Pop Smoke's producers and a rainbow-haired clown package back in 2018 when a 6ix9ine verse was actually worth something. Ironically, CJ's song 6ix9ine didn't actually end up doing many numbers, and he's since taken it off of his YouTube, but it still sits today on his SoundCloud page with a surprisingly low 220,000 spins. So, 6ix9ine's finesse didn't blow up CJ the way his name hoped. So he continued grinding and dropping auto-tune heavy pop-style tracks like his song Toast Up. He also had the track Times Like This, which is a pretty dope song. In my opinion, it's probably his best. In fact, I wouldn't be so surprised if he brought this one back for his album. The thing is, though, the streets still weren't paying enough attention to our boy CJ, no matter what he did for clout. Hell, he even switched sides on 6ix9ine and dropped a diss song called Exposed after he came out as a rap. In fact, the very last song that CJ dropped before Woody came out was a track called Understood. Another auto-tune heavy, generic New York trap banger, which I don't think is particularly stand out, but hell, CJ seems to think otherwise, but it's the only
full power.
Still publicly available on his YouTube channel. In fact, Understood was CJ's first ever proper music video, establishing that now beloved trend of all
She's
CJ's
coming around here
being
for
filmed with him basically just standing in front of an expensive car. Nice.
Damn,
Thing is though, if you look at the comments on that Understood music video today, you'll know that
okay, so that's
big is on the
everything.
horizon for CJ. And at the end of July 2020,
except for the escort, yeah.
Dragon, that,
This is the first time that
Reaper.
CJ jumped on a New York
Yep,
drill, UK drill type B. Bear in mind, the New York drill scene is absolutely popping at this point. This is 5 months after Pop Smoke was tragically killed, and the very
Just
same
need to do
month,
our escort.
album Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon.
Yep, I'm heading that way now.
At this point in time, it felt like hip-hop had an enormous, gaping Pop Smoke-shaped hole in it. And while the likes of Fabio, Foreign, Chef G, and 22Gs were filling that hole with reasonable efficiency, CJ's Whoopty was just different. It somehow managed to tick every box on the casual hip-hop fan's wish list. It had the drums of a Pop Smoke song, the melody of a King Von song.
Recon rovers are critical to our research.
The armory is right over here.
And at this point in 2020, it was straight up King Von mania. So CJ's coming out with a song that sounds like both King Von and Pop Smoke at the height of their popularity. Wearing a blood bandana around his neck. Now you pick the 6ix9ine box too. But then the true finesse
There we go.
lyrics of Whoopty. Because
Got a
for 3
better-
whole years, CJ has been struggling to stand out from the crowd with his unoriginal lyrics and tired style.
Better
However, when you
shouting.
combine the imagery of King Von, Pop Smoke, and 6ix9ine's voice to one person, it kind of stopped mattering what he said. The lyrics of Whoopty are incredibly generic. Unlike a lot of other gang folk in New York drill, I mean, some of these songs are so steeped in confusing gang lingo, you need a Chris interpreter just to understand what half the Smoke's talking about. On Whoopty, however, it's incredibly easy to follow what CJ's talking about. It's blue cheese, we all love cheese. I love it. You know he's about that chicken like a poo piece. I mean, if it was really about his chicken, he would have ordered a 20 nugget share box, but that's besides the point. But as well as the lyrics, the music video for Whoopty plays out like a game of hip-hop spot the cliche. Ooh, Lambo, 1 point. Blood rag, 2 points. Ooh, bunch of people making gang signs to the camera. I think I just got blood. Bingo. But of course, the entire song is wrapped up in that one catchy one-liner. Whoopty. It's the perfect catchphrase. It's a greeting. It's something blunt to just shout out to your homies, which turns out is the perfect recipe for a hit.
I feel like an actual like military.
Oh Jesus. One more.
No, 2 more.
No, 1 more green.
If you ever needed a sure sign that CJ owns and operates Whoopty, there it is. But at a certain point, some people in the rap game will step back and say, hang on, what is this Whoopty you speak of? What does it mean? Where does it come from? And you know what? It reminds me an awful lot of a little old catchphrase called Trayway. I ain't gonna say in November, Whoopty meteorized to the top. CJ is getting interviewed to break down the song's meaning, where he says that Whoopty was just a greeting that he uses with his friends.
Pretty much Whoopty, like, is worldwide now. You know, I got babies, you know, saying Whoopty. I got, you know, middle-aged people, you know, older people. Pretty much it's just like a roll call, you know, whenever I see my guys in the street, you know, that's how we greet each other. It's like in New York when people see green.
Now, this is technically true. However, before CJ made it famous, the phrase Whoopty was a greeting used among a specific group of people. According to the feds, the phrase Whoopty is a greeting of choice for the New York blood set.
I love the combat though.
Just like 6ix9ine's Trayway,
Yeah, isn't that what the first store or first room Pikachu got there with a combat bow? Or whatever.
just run so fast with it.
Smithers released the Alex.
So, realizing sometimes the first is attack. And with that in mind, we can begin to spot a few token gang references in the track, which is fine to play with.
I think this is it. That breach should be the one. Scan shows the start of hostiles emerging from breach.
Neutralized.
Rover has crossed the breach. Great, do you still have it? Confirmed. Rover has arrived in the dark ether and is transmitting. Anomaly identified. Head to the site to activate the beacon.
All the way back to the original LA Bloods, who refer to themselves as the LA Hat Gang, later becoming the 5-9 Rims for their turf at 59th Street, with the East Coast set of the 5-9 Rims popping up in the early 90s. The cells of Rikers Island Prison, spearheaded by incarcerated Blood pioneer Omar, aka O2 Mac, pulling it off. Setting up numerous
Whoa. Connection interruption.
No.
the name being a reference to the original founder,
Right.
G-Mac, as
Yeah.
well as the New York Post issued one of 4 Brim sets that make the
I think it's just because I was moving so fast from the combat though.
even left innocent bystanders killed. But don't get it twisted, these guys are way more crazy crimes than G-Mac. They previously been heavily involved in an incident where they kidnapped the father of a North Carolina prosecutor and attacked 45 Brims behind bars in retaliation for his sentence.
Kevin Mills was
Oh.
convicted by a federal jury of devising a kidnapping plot in 2014 aimed at Wake County Assistant
Whoa.
Agent Colleen Jansen, who had
What?
been jail. The 51-year-old was accused of using a cell phone from jail.
Smoked a few with one shot.
But the kidnappers went to the wrong address and grabbed Jansen's father, Frank, by mistake. The gang members then took Jansen to Atlanta, where he was held and tortured over a 5-day period.
Crazy. But it gets worse. Apparently to join the Brims, you need to do an initiation. This could be as simple as jumping, or it could be as serious as being forced to take poison. In fact, there was even an incident where a 14-year-old boy was sent to do his drilling as part of an initiation, but ended up getting shot dead by his boss.
Everyone in this neighborhood is talking about what happened to an alleged teen gunman. Police say they had no choice but to shoot him after he refused to drop his gun. They say around 3 a.m. Sunday, 2 rookie cops heard gunshots near East 151st Street and Cortland Avenue and saw him running after someone with a gun in his hand. When they confronted him,